Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Let me know if you can hear me just fine or if I'm coming through too loud or whatever the case might be. All right. Let me fix this so I can see the chat. Perfect. All right. So, we are going to be working on another page from my comic book that I'm working on called Hellstones. This is page 4. And what we see here is this guy named Damien Voss. He's very much like a Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos kind of guy. Just a rich guy, runs a big corporation. He is supposed he gives off the impression that he's a man of the people and he's for the world and all of that, and but he really has underlying motives that are sinister. Hello, Ashley Page. But hop right in here. I'm not sure. I think I'm actually good to just jump right in onto these shadows. Just start kind of plugging away at this. I think that's just, since there's just so much, I think we're just gonna drop in some shadows. Just boom, like that, just kind of everywhere. I think we'll just figure it out from there. I think. I think I'm gonna. I think there's a few spots I actually want to take them out of right away. Yeah, I think that'll work. Cool. And I have a little bit of reference for the lighting scenario that I want to use, so I'm just pulling that up over here. I have a reference monitor that usually sits back behind this one, but I didn't set it up. See, so we have light coming from top down. I think we'll just kind of stick from that top down lighting in this one here, maybe. Yeah. Clearly something got jacked up there. There we go. If you're watching, say hi. Yeah, there's always people watching, but no one ever speaks up. All I'm doing is just selecting the shadows and then going in with a transparent brush to remove the shadow. And by removing the shadow, I'm creating a highlight. And that's not the only way to do highlights, but this is definitely the way I prefer. I like the subtractive process. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that'll do. Hope if I use the right pen here. We need to give that shirt too much since it's underneath everything. Just make sure we get that collar. So we'll come in, we'll select that tie. A little bit of that shadow back in a couple of these spots. And we're getting there. We're getting there. So if you have any questions about the color rendering process or the process of making comic books, don't be shy, speak up. I've been a comic book colorist for, 5 years now. Independent comic book colorist. I've produced my own children's color and creativity book. I'm working on my own comic book right now, which is Hellstones, which is what we're working on today. Or if you just want to just chat, don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is one of the handful of antagonists in the story of Hellstones. And just as a reminder to everybody, I'll say this a couple of times tonight, I'm sure, but if you've ever wanted to be a character in a comic book, now's your opportunity. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Hellstones newsletter at pigmentcast.com. I'm going to do a random drawing for two people. One to have their physical likeness in the book, and the other one to maybe have your name somewhere in the book, maybe like on a poster or on a billboard or something in the background. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be a cool way to just kind of give back to everybody that supports me, supports the channel, supports my art. I think that'd be cool. Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate that. And just pull some of that down into that cheek just a little bit. He is supposed to be a little more on the gaunt side, but I think he was looking a little sickly. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to come in and blend that high spot in just a little bit. I normally like to go in and do all my characters first and then go in and blast all the backgrounds and stuff. But I think we'll just try and take this kind of one panel at a time here. I usually bounce all over the place. Those there are actually 3 of the Hellstones. drop some of that shadow back in right here on that table. I'm also working on a another project with a group of people that if you've seen I did some work on a Death of Superman. It was a parody comic, and that was a lot of fun. And that same group of people is doing a full parody comic of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight 3. That one's turning out to be a lot of fun. I'm working with some great people. Dustin Tyree's doing a lot of the ink work on it, and I think he's doing pencils and inks actually. And then Omak Vera, he's going in and doing some stuff as well. I'm doing the colors, but we're having a lot of fun with this one. I don't know what the end goal for this book is. The last book we did ended up uh, getting donated for charity, all the proceeds to help out. I don't remember his name. I apologize, but he's a staple in the comic book community. He ended up losing his house, so all the proceeds went to help him getting back up and running, and that was really cool. But I don't know what the goal of this book's going to be. I know they're wanting to release it first quarter of 2025. So that'll be cool. I'll let everybody know about that, I'm sure. And then I'm still working with Shattermare Comics, as far as I know. I haven't done any color rendering for them since August, but I was told they're waiting to get all the last like 5 pages or so of book one done, and then just send them all to me in one batch. But I should be getting those any day now, so that'll keep me busy too. So yeah, I'm working on the Mercenary Guild, working on the Dark Knight 3 parody, and working on my own book. So I'm definitely keeping busy. Get these. There we go. I don't think I want to drop any shadows behind those Hellstones. So I think they're going to have a little bit of glow to them. Don't be shy, people. Speak up. Speak up. Let's talk. Oh, background area. How do we want to tackle this? Maybe we'll just come in and drop a little light here from that outside window. And maybe that's all we'll do. That way we kind of have a frame around the main character here of the page. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll leave the rest in shadow. That way we kind of have this spotlight coming right into the center of the page there. Designs there. And I think we're going to try and darken that up quite a bit. And then I had the window behind him. I know I'm going to have some light coming out of that as well, and some lights on some of the city behind him. But I'm not quite sure how I want to tackle that yet. I think I want to get everything done and drop in the. Oh shoot! Let's just do it now. Let's just do it now. I can't make up my mind. So we need to come in and get rid of all of this selection back here. Because I want that to be its own separate light source. And I think the light we're going to drop in here gonna be a yellowy golden color, I think, kinda. We'll see. But I don't think I want it that bright. I think that'll work. Select that. And then the light from outside will have a bluish kind of night light. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. I think I'm getting the contrast I'm wanting to see. I'm going to add a saturation layer and then paint it all white. That way it converts everything to black and white and I can really see where my values are. And once you can identify your values, you can see your contrast and get a good idea of where your eye is drawing everything. And I think with the, let me switch over here. I think we're doing a pretty decent idea of drawing the eye here. We're surrounding the whole thing with pretty much all gray tones. And then we just got this spot here of just brightness right in the middle, giving us that maximum contrast. I'm going to come in and just add a little bit of reflection on that window back here. Oh, it feels a little more like glass. Heck, if I jack that all up. You know, it does kind of want to bring your eye just above his head right away. So I think I'm going to try and tamp that down just a little bit. There we go. I think that's a bit better. It's wild what you can see when you switch everything to black and white. Just how much more things stand out. I think we'll leave it about there. Let's see. I don't really think there's any textures I really want to drop in here. It's all mostly smooth and marble and glass and leather. think we'll go back in eventually, and we'll just add a few more highlights here and there. Uh, Add some glow effects around the stones. But I'll wait till the end. I always wait till the end to do all of my effects just because I don't want them clouding my vision of what I'm seeing. Now this next panel, panel 2, this one is a lot. So this will be fun. And select the silhouette. Yeah, this one's got a lot of details, but it's cool. It's cool. I think for the most part, I'm going to try and keep him backlit. Just kind of mostly a rim light around everything. I think that's where I'm going to start with him. And I'll just kind of circle back as things happen. I really kind of want both of in this panel. I really want both of these characters to actually, I think, for the most part, be backlit, rimlit, and not too much going on in the front, because we're going to have them be pretty dark compared to everything else that's back here. All this stuff is all going to be pretty bright. So we're going to get our contrast that way by having them be kind of the darker things on the page. As we're going to have light pouring in from the windows. We're going to have light coming down from the chandelier. Each one of these cameras is going to be giving off light. So I really think that's what I'm going to go for on this one. Yeah, this particular panel is a lot of detail, but and this is what, page 4? Page 3, that one's insane. That one is totally crazy with the amount of detail that Epilo was able to put into that page. I tell you what, flatting it took forever. Just forever. And then the coloring is going to take quite a bit too. But luckily, when you have a pretty busy page, you can get away with not having to render a whole bunch. Like, just the idea of what's going on in some of those places is better than going in and doing a full detail rendering, just because that's not the center of focus. It shouldn't be the center of focus. And if you're going in and doing all this extra detail work and all these other things that are in the background, you're just going to draw the eye away from where you want it to be. Get this gentleman all hit up. All right. Hit that up. I think that'll be all right like that. I'll tell you what, you guys are way too quiet. Way too quiet. I don't bite. Hmm. It's interesting. As far as rendering everybody else, I kind of don't even really want to. I mean, I should throw a little something on these background characters, but again, I don't want to distract from the main area here. So I'll hit them up just a little bit. Just give them some hints. Just some real light hints of form. That way, if you happen to look over that way, They don't look completely goofy, but I really don't think I'm going to give it much beyond that. I think for as detailed and busy as this panel is, that's kind of might just be where I end it. And I think what's going to bring a lot of this together again is going to be those lighting effects that I go in and do at the end, adding some glows and some halos of light. That's And the eye does just kind of bounce around a lot on that panel, doesn't it? I'll zoom out. Yeah, your eye kind of goes here to that lamp first and then maybe bounces back over. So that'll be interesting. And I think some of that has to do with these like black panels that are up on the ceiling. So I think maybe I'm going to go in and mess with those. Maybe even just remove them altogether. I think we're just going to paint over them real quick. Just to see what that leaves me with. And I'm going in just real quick here. This isn't going to be the end result. I just need to visualize it a little bit. I think this is, I think this is kind of what I'm going to end up doing. Sorry if I'm quiet or mumbling. I'm just not trying to be. This is one of the things I like best about working on my own book is that I can come in and do this. I can mess with the line art. Uh, if you're being hired to be the colorist on something, you're definitely not going to go in and mess with the line art. Not unless you're looking to get fired or have a stern talking to. It's okay to go in and, do some color holds, but you don't want to alter the line art like I'm doing here. But I think these black panels here, what we're kind of screwing with my contrast a little bit. So now if we come back out, we have that bright background. So let's see. Yeah, I think you're more inclined now to look at the foreground. I still got work to do on that. But I think when I add the flashes of all those cameras, I think that's really going to help a lot. All right. 2 panels, about 90% done on each of those panels, somewhere around there. All right. I'm going to take a quick 5 minutes and then I'll be back and we'll move on to the next couple panels. Be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. I didn't play my intro, but that's okay. I clicked on the wrong button. Alright, gang. So this next panel, also a lot of people and table and stuff, but it's actually going to go by pretty quick since they're all pretty small. I'm not even really going, yeah, thank you, going to use my soft brush too much. I will on the table, but otherwise I'm just going to go in with my called a turnip pen. It's like a quilt pen, and just cut in highlights that way. It'll go by pretty quick. This some of those shadows back in. All that light's pretty much behind him. So don't worry about much there. And if you notice on these guys, because they're in reality so small, they don't really even have much detail about them to begin with. zipping right along. Ooh, it is windy outside. Just heard a big gust of wind roll through outside my window here. That was wild. What's funny is I didn't notice initially, but when I came into flat this, I realized that I have about 6 Alfred Hitchcocks on this page. There's just a whole bunch of like heavy set bald guys. I don't know why, but that's what Epilo decided to do for these guys. I don't mind. It's kind of whatever. They're just background people, but I kind of chuckled to myself a little bit. That's kind of it. That's all that it's all that really needs to be done in this one. All of this stuff in the background is glowing. It's like a big display, like a big screen. This one, I think we're going to do a hard light mode rather than soft light. That may get a little more intensity coming off that. Like I said, all of that's going to end up glowing. I'll show you real quick kind of what it'll end up looking like in some of these areas. Why are you being weird? Oh, I wasn't using the right color. But all of this is going to end up glowing. So, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Take that down just a little bit. So this page here, pretty much this whole page is going to be kind of effects heavy, like lighting effects and special effects. And then this bottom one here will be kind of cool. So we're going to have two different light sources. We're going to have that same blue green kind of glow coming from behind and maybe to the side a little bit. And then his face and his chest is going to all be lit by the Hellstones that are floating above him. So it'll be a cool contrast in light. Actually, just want to select that. I think that's what we'll do there. Kind of the back of his hand, maybe up to those knuckles in that same blue light that I'm working with. Mm. There we go. Now we're going to go in and quickly cut out oops. All of this. I think since we have the blue, the yellow gold, and that purple color, I think we're just gonna kind of split the difference and call it an orange light. Kind of just going over all of this. We're moving a little quick here, but I'll come in and refine this in a minute. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a weird pucker to his lips here. And that's all right. I do my best to try and move quickly for you guys. I'll undoubtedly go in and refine and tweak and adjust. So this by no means will end up being the final product that you see here. All right. So we have our silhouette again. We will subtract the shadows that we did, and then we're going to subtract the other highlights that we did. We're going to come in and add a new highlight layer. Like I said, I think we're going to go with like an orange color. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I think that'll look pretty cool. did forget some spots on his hand. So we're going to go in and do that. There we go. That'll be cool. Like I said, we're going to end up doing a lot of different lighting and glow effects on the final render. So that'll end up looking pretty sweet, I think. But that's kind of page 4 in a nutshell. There's tweaks, adjustments, lighting, highlights, some more specular highlights as well, glow effects. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do those another time. If you can see my layer count on the other side, I have so many different lights going on. I need to get all this organized before I start moving into those final steps. But I think for now, we're gonna put a pin in this page and call it good. I better save it before I forget. Let's see. Oh, I'll show you page 3. I told you that this one had some details in the one panel, but page 3 is insane. This one. This one has an insane amount of stuff going on. I'm pretty much done with the flats, ready to move into the color rendering part. That's going to take quite a while. I wasn't even going to attempt to do this on a live stream. It'll be one of those ones where I wait till the weekend, where I have a big chunk of time throughout the day, and I just sit and just zone out and just kind of get at it. But we have, what do we have? About a half hour to kill. So this is Sam. This is the protagonist of the story of Hellstones. This is the character turnaround that I recently got back. So I think maybe we'll sit here and shoot the breeze, and maybe I'll just continue working on flatting Sam. If anyone has any questions or wants to speak up or anything like that, please do. Please do. But with this character, I knew right off the bat that I wanted the protagonist of my story to be a strong, just kick-ass female. So I ended up going with this character here, but I wanted to avoid like the typical tropes of female characters in mainstream comics with their, you know, tight clothes, big old boobs, stuff like that. Not that stuff. I mean, it has its place, but it's not what I wanted for this book. I mean, this book that I'm doing here is a modern dark fantasy occult story. So it's got a little bit of a serious tone, but it does have those elements of like the supernatural and superpowers and abilities. And I wanted my character to reflect that gritty, somewhat grounded in reality feel. It'll be cool because if I end up going to print on this, I don't know if I will. My intent is to try and shop it around to some indie distributors and see if anyone has an interest in picking up the distribution and publication. But if I end up releasing this on my own, or like I said, even if I have a distributor, it'll be cool to do some variant covers. Hire some popular indie artists and stuff, and see what their interpretation of this character might be. I think that would be fun. It's for those types of things. That's why you want to have these character sheets and these turnaround models, is so you can give them to other artists that might be working on your story. I likely won't end up keeping the same line artist all the way through. I like Epilo and would love to continue to work with him, but who knows what comes up. But you have to have these reference sheets for any new artists that are coming on board. And they basically just kind of act as like a Bible for the character. Like, this is what the character looks like in a nutshell. That's not to say that there isn't wiggle room to maybe play with style a little bit, but as long as she's grounded with something of this look, you know, Superman has a few iconic things about him other than his suit. He has the chiseled jaw. He has the little curl in his hair. Those things. Those are the like key markers of that character. But people have always drawn him a little bit differently depending on their style. And I always find that fascinating about comics. And for those of you watching that don't know what this process is called, I recently released a tutorial on this process, and this is called color flatting. Color flatting is what allows for me to go in and quickly select items on the page. And that way, when I go to color, I can quickly select things, or if I'm done with the page and someone comes back and requests some edits, I can quickly just go in and select the things that I need to edit rather than having to maybe fish around or repaint something altogether. It's very handy. It also makes sure that all of your colors line up and don't have gaps between them. And that's a little less important nowadays, but back in the day when you would actually take something to the printer and they had a printing press and things weren't digital, the printing press would have printing plates. There would be these big plates. One would be cyan, one would be magenta, one would be yellow, one would be black. And depending on how much of those colors you lay over, that's how you get all of the other colors of the spectrum. And you would need to make sure that your colors were all completely touching, because all the color is going to go down first, and then the final color to go down over it is black. And if there were gaps in your color and that black didn't go down perfectly, all of a sudden you would see gaps in everything. So that's why it was important back when. But it's interesting that color flatting has always had a purpose. The purpose may have evolved a little bit, but the need for it is still there, even when going from traditional and old school printing to modern digital coloring and uh, high definition printing, laser printing, and stuff like that. It's kind of cool to see something stick around, just modified for the time. Normally, because the color flatting process takes quite a while, but mostly it's kind of a tedious task, if I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I like it. I can sit and zone out, just kind of get into a groove, get into a flow. But typically, if I'm working on a commission job, or like the Mercenary Guild comic where I'm getting paid for that, I'll hire someone to go in and do all the flats for me. And that's nice because that saves me time. I can give that to them, have them do that prep work. And then when I get the page back, I just have to go in, do some color correction, and then from there, do my rendering. And it saves me a lot of time of having to do all that extra work. And it gives somebody a job, gives somebody something to do. But on Hellstones, on my book, since I'm paying for everything, I'm doing absolutely everything myself, aside from the line art. So the pencils and the inks, those aren't mine. Epilo's doing that, but I'm doing the writing. I created it. I'm doing the flats. I'm doing the color, uh, doing the lettering, and doing everything. So it's a lot of work, but saving a boatload of money. Mm, Meant to select all of them. Oh no, put that on the wrong layer. Oh, Frankie, what are you doing? Pay attention. Save, save. I'm fine. I don't need to save this yet. Ah, damn it. Just because you said it, now it's in my head. There, I saved. Yeah, I have kind of the colors that I want for her. They're not completely set in stone, but there we go. And since this is a character turnaround, I'm not actually going to go in, and I don't think I'm going to do any lights or shading on this. I think it's all going to be flats. That way the colors are very clear on what they should be. I thought I did that. That's wrong. Need to get her hoodie. Well, dang it. Forgot the hoodie over on this one. Well, I guess that is the only one where you see her actual t-shirt. Cool. And I think I will do an alternate version of this where I fully render uh, this turnaround. And maybe I'll make it available for digital download for people that have joined my newsletter. So if you haven't yet, join the Hellstones newsletter at pygmycast.com. I release updates and information in that newsletter, and I include some sneak peeks at some of the art and the process, and maybe even ask people for their feedback or opinions on things. And like I said before, there's a little contest I have going on. So if you sign up for the Hellstones newsletter at pigmacast.com and you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're going to automatically be entered into a random drawing to where your likeness could be in this book. And we're going to do we're doing two drawings. One's for your likeness in the book. The second person is going to be their name in the book. Whether maybe it's scrawled on some graffiti or maybe on a billboard in the background or something like that. Just some fun things like that. That'd be kind of cool. He's getting there. What time we got? 10 minutes. You just might get this whole thing flatted. Look at that. Whoa. Didn't mean to get the super zoom going. Boom. What time is it? 9:23. Wow, I did all that in 3 minutes. Holy crap. I was cruising, y'all. All right. Oh, you got her boots down here. So again, she's not that big-chested bimbo. She's practical. She's dressed for combat. She's dressed for living on the run. She's a fighter. She's a little lone wolf. There we go. There we go. That's pretty much Sam in a nutshell. We would, of course, not want to forget the glow of her Hellstone. There we go. Wasn't intended on doing this on the live or anything, but there's your sneak peek of Sam, the protagonist to the Hellstone series. Let me know what you think. All right, gang. Well, we have reached the end of this Colorcast stream. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And we'll see you not next week. We have all the holidays going on, so I think we're going to be back the week after. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one. Take care.